years in the making, so this is not something that I'm just suddenly doing. I've put into my life small things. I've slowly started doing more and more and more, and I'm still on a journey. Like there's still a lot of things that I know I don't do right, and I'm not perfect, so don't go away thinking like, oh, she's so healthy, she's so fit, she does everything right. I don't, but I'm still on my journey, and slowly I'm, getting better. So some of the things that I always eat breakfast. And I know, Keren, you always talk about that, how important it is, and I honestly didn't believe it. And I think a lot of us don't believe it, to be perfectly honest. But it's one thing that I do now, and I used to not do, is always eating breakfast. I try to avoid sugar. So the truth is we kind of do have a bit of a sugar epidemic going on. We do consume way too much sugar. Apparently for a woman, I know that you're supposed to have about 6 teaspoons of sugar a day, no more. And depends on the size of your teaspoon. That could be anywhere between maybe 22 to 30 grams of sugar. Now, if you guys look at, your average, bread or your milk or anything that you think is, well, that's not sugar, you'd be surprised how much sugar is actually in there. So I try to aim, if per serve, I take a look at the nutrition label and I try to aim for like something like 8 grams or less. Anything more than 10, I'm like, no, it's not good. So the thing is also, what we don't realize is when we eat sugar, we create a whole hormonal chemical reaction when we eat it. Eating sugar means you're going to want more sugar, and that's kind of something that you can't really avoid. It's programmed into our minds, and it's something that we just have to take into consideration. Sorry, one sec. I don't restrict myself. If I want a piece of chocolate cake, I'm going to have that cake. I allow myself to treat myself. I try to avoid keeping things in my house though, because I just know myself so well. I just know that I'm not going to just have one line of those chocolates, or I'm not going to just have, 1 Tim Tam. So I avoid keeping in my house, but what I have started doing, however, is if I decide, okay, today's my treat day, I'm going to go out for ice cream. So my treat is actually outside my house. Look, everything's going to work differently for everyone. I know, I think, Keren, you were saying in your last talk that if it's not open, then you don't eat it.
Doesn't interest me.
Yeah, it doesn't interest you. Yeah. So some people just don't open things. Some people just put it away where they can't see it. Some people just a really good all week and then leave it to 1 day a week. Some people just can control themselves. I have no idea how you do it. And I always eat carbohydrates. I used to not eat carbohydrates. I eat carbs all the time, and they're good. And they feel good, and they make you happy, and they make your brain function a lot better. And the interesting thing is actually carbohydrates do increase your metabolism. It's a whole chemical reaction again with your thyroid hormone. So people who think that carbs are something that you should stay away from, that's completely wrong.
What kind of carb?
Exactly. Good point. Good question, Keren. That's exactly it. What kind of carbs, though? I'm not talking about white breads and potatoes and all that kind of stuff. It really does depend on the type of carbs and the timing of your carbs. So, for example, one of my favourite carbs is sweet potato. I love my sweet potato. Wholemeal breads, rye, all that kind of stuff. Those things are so packed full of fibre that you start digesting a lot slower, so you're fuller for longer, and it revs up your metabolism. So why the hell not? I take my supplements, I take my vitamins and everything. Having said that, there's no way that you should think that, oh well, I'm taking my multivitamin, so I'm healthy, if your diet's not right. So supplements is really that. It's a supplement, just on top of your nutrition. I exercise all the time, love it. Recently I started, I said that, didn't I, that I recently started going to the gym and doing a bit of weights. Love that. I cook, and I love experimenting with different foods. I love experimenting with making something that I really, really enjoy eating, and maybe it's not that healthy, but I love trying to experiment and try and make it a little bit more healthy so that, I don't feel like I'm missing out. So, moving on, I just want you guys for you guys to understand that in order to change, you need the motivation to do it, right? But where do we get that motivation from? Sometimes we get it and then it kind of just disappears, and then you're like, oh, whatever, can't be bothered. Information leads to motivation, leads to change. And I think that's actually a quote of some famous doctor. I can't remember who. I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it, but someone said that. So you must 100% want to change. You must really, really want it. And you must surround yourself with the right information. So expose yourselves, guys. I think Facebook is one of the best tools out there, to be perfectly honest. You know how many fitness pages there are out there? Nutrition and fitness tips, all that kind of stuff. There's so many people you'd be surprised that you can relate to on there. Constantly, logging into Facebook and having these images of, healthy food and seeing that every single day and seeing fitness and seeing such positive imagery, that makes you kind of want it. It's things, everything that we see, it's already in our brains and it motivates us to do more. Think about your environment as well, like what's in your cupboard and what's in your fridge, and who are you spending time with, So if you have the right foods in your house, if you don't have the bad stuff, you're not going to eat it. Like I said before, you do need balance, and I did give a few examples of, what, I tend to do. I tend to go out to have my treat rather than have it at home. Now, it's really important to stay accountable. I think that's one of the best ways to kind of stay and stick to your goals. It's sometimes just so hard to get out of bed when it's cold and rainy and, come to Zumba, But, yeah, sometimes you can't even be bothered cooking, so you kind of just eat, whatever's there. So some ways that I've stayed accountable is, obviously exercising with other people. So making an arrangement with a friend. Meet me at Zumba, you know that you kind of have to go now because your friend's meeting you there. And it's more fun to exercise with other friends and other people than by yourself. Like, I don't enjoy it, so no one else should have to do it either. Now, one thing that I did with a couple of my friends is that we created this WhatsApp group, and basically what we did was we both had mutual goals. Like, I want to be a little bit healthier. Like, I tend to not really be as healthy as I'd like to be. So we started this WhatsApp group, and we started taking photos of what we eat and sending it to each other. So breakfast, lunch and dinner, we would literally have to put all our food onto our plate, set it out. I'd try and make it all colourful and nice, and I'd take a photo and I'd send it to the WhatsApp group. It makes you accountable because the other person's going to see what you're having, and not only that, you kind of have to take the time to actually put it on your plate. So you visually see how much you're actually eating. It's not like, oh, dinner's cooking and I'm just going to snack while I go, and then, I'll eat a bit here or maybe I'll have some of this, and you actually don't see what you're eating. It's set out on a plate, you see it, you take a photo, you send it. You want to kind of impress the other people and show them that, you're on the right track. And yeah, so that's one of the ways that I've stuck to my, healthy eating habits. There's also actually, has anyone seen that Gympact application on the iPhones? No? It's something I newly discovered. And look, if you're not tech savvy, I'll give you another idea. But basically what it is that the app pays you if you exercise, and you pay if you don't. So you make a pact that I'm going to exercise 3 times a week, let's say, and I'm going to pledge $5 a workout. So if you, basically if you miss one workout out of the 3 workouts that you have, they take money out of your account. They take the $5 that you pledged. I know, it's really interesting. And if you actually stick to your goals, look, I just downloaded it recently because I was like, oh, this looks interesting. So I'm just testing it out. Let's see if I actually get paid. Yeah, if you stick to your three times a week, the application pays you. So where do they get the money from? So turns out those people that haven't met their goals, they're the ones paying the people that did. So I thought that was really interesting. But then I thought, not everyone's tech savvy. Not everyone's...
So how do they know if you exercise?
Oh, so yeah, the other thing is, how do they know? So on your iPhone you have a GPS, yeah? So let's say you go to the gym. Yeah.
Big brother is watching.
Yeah, so they have a GPS. So let's say you go to the gym, right? You go to the gym and you would check in. So I'm at this so-and-so gym, and they would locate and they would verify it, and they know that you're at the gym, and they actually check every 7 minutes to make sure you're still there. So don't think that you can just walk past the gym and go. There's 2 other ways. The other way is it has a GPS in terms of, let's say you want to go for a run, so it tracks your run and how fast you're moving. And it has an accelerometer, I believe that's what it's called. So if you wear it on your arm and you come to Zumba and you're shaking it, and I tested it out actually at Dion's class.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. And it works. It actually can tell when I stop moving, and it can tell when I'm moving. So it works. So what I was saying, so if, let's say you're not tech savvy and you're not really, I can't really be bothered with the phone, I thought, you know what, if you could find, other people who have the same goals as you, who also want to get fit, who also want to, want to stay accountable, maybe a group of 3 of you or 4 of you, if you guys could commit to, okay, let's come to Zumba, Sunday morning, 10 a.m. If you come to Zumba, let's do Zumba twice a week. So you make this arrangement with your other friends, and you say, all right, let's all put in $5. Let's all put in $5, and if we all come, the twice a week to the classes, then we all split the money equally back. So you get your money back. However, if there's one person who kind of misses it, then you divide it between each other. You kind of,
good.
And I mean, let's be honest, who wants to, pay someone else for the fact that you didn't work out? So I just thought that was like another way to kind of incorporate it if you wanted an idea. So yeah, those are just some things. I really think it's important to stay accountable because, how else are you going to motivate yourself? You need to get to that place where you really, really want to exercise and you feel like it's not right. We wake up in the morning, if we don't brush our teeth, it doesn't feel right, and you feel it and you don't like it. I am at a point where if I don't exercise, I don't feel right. I mean, I didn't exercise for about 2 weeks while it was the Pesach holidays during, Easter and all that, and I was like, need myself a fix. So it's really important to stay accountable. And look, one more thing that I'm going to put out there about what I think really helps, and it definitely helped me. So there's fitness, and there's nutrition, and there's our mental health, and there's also spiritual health. So putting it out there, this is not about religion. You don't have to be religious. It can be about religion. For some people it might be. What it is, it's someone who has a healthy spiritual health, is someone who basically has a sense of purpose, if you know what I mean. So that can mean different things to different people. For some people, like I said, it might be religion. For some people, it might be just the fact that they're volunteering somewhere once a week. Using your strength to help other people, charity, spending time with family, all these things, if you take that more seriously, I really, really think that it just puts things in your mind into perspective, number one. Number two, you have less room in your mind to kind of obsess over yourself when you have other people to worry about. And I think that that's really, really, I think that's a really big key to to getting where you want to be. Because if you overthink too much about yourself, you know, you overanalyze things and you magnify things, and things become a lot more complicated than they need to be. And yeah, so that's basically all the tips I have. You know, everyone has their story. Everyone has a story. No one's perfect. My story isn't more sad than someone else's or anything. You know, I just everyone has their story, but we're all the author of our story. So you guys can really do whatever you want and achieve whatever you want, because it's your choice. It's about you. So yeah, thanks for coming.